Good evening. Michelle and I are here to do a quick live tonight. It is Friday. We are going to close the page like we usually do on a Friday. And just wanted to bring you up to speed on a few things and then take some questions and answers if my dog doesn't stop squeaking with her squeaky toy. So what we wanted to do basically is say to you that we're kind of in a holding pattern. So we won our case, yay us, right? And so everyone was really excited about that. And the very next day, the city filed an appeal, notice to intent that they intended to appeal with the Supreme Court, which now goes to the First District Appellate Court. It's just kind of a placeholder. They're not really going to, it doesn't happen overnight. It's not a quick process, but what they're going to do is write their brief, and it can take up to 6 months to perfect an appeal. And that's what they call it, perfect an appeal. So at that point, the brief will go into the record, and they could ask for anything. They're probably just going to challenge the judge's decisions. We don't like this. Please reverse this, big bad retirees, those rumps, whatever. So we don't know what they're going to say. We have to wait for what their brief is, and then at that point we will be able to answer it and potentially even file a cross motion, cross appeal. But we need to wait and see what they file. So we're just waiting with that. So that was the first thing. So we don't want your anxieties to get high. There's really nothing bad happening. There's rumors going around that the only intent on those is just to make you more anxious and freak out, right? Because what else, why would they do that? But we know we've had an impact. We know that our voices were heard, and that's a good thing. And what was this next thing I needed to talk about?
Okay, it was the
the op-ed.
The op-ed.
So the New York Daily News came out with an op-ed from our attorney, Steve Cohen, which kind of freaked people out because they were reading into it the wrong way. So a little history on Medicare Advantage. And Medicare Advantage plans came into the city first offering around 2003. Currently, there are 3 being offered, not including this last one. And those 3 have been around for a while. And then there's some hybrid plans that are kind of like a Medicare Advantage cross HMO, whatever. And those are also in the city plans for a great many years. This new plan was a pure Medicare Advantage plan, but kind of tweaked to be a little special, whatever. But
it was special.
It was special. But it's not going to be something that we are going to prevent from happening. It just can't, because they already exist. Which is why when the judge said that the implementation was irrational, but not the plan, it's because there are already Medicare Advantage plans in the repertoire of the city, okay? So it's just that the debacle of the rollout, the implementation, the misinformation, all of that was poor. So basically the judge said that's the problem. So people like to misinterpret things. You really got to go back to understand why. So please do not think that we are not trying to fight for choice. Michelle will tell you, we believe, this organization believes you should have your traditional Medicare and Medigap supplemental, whether that means it's a GHI senior care or whatever. We already know that the city is overpaying for our GHI senior care. Maybe it should be rebid out to other vendors, and maybe they would save $150 million by doing that, hint, hint. I mean, so that there's other things that should be in the plan, but we believe you should be able to keep your traditional Medicare and your supplemental plan, and have a choice of other plans. After all, that type of a capitalism where you have competing vendors is what keeps costs low and keeps services, on the level. But the way that they do things now, where they just want to limit you to one plan, that's really not competitive or advantageous for anybody. So we have about 85 people here, 84 people. I don't see any questions. Are you seeing questions in the chat? Or
So while we're just, skating a little bit. So I know there's some little offset things to just need to discuss. if, again, I have seen in the emails, if you opt out, okay, yes, we know they took the stuff off the OLR page, okay, and as we have on our website, you cannot call that 833 number because they will not take your opt-out.
Although
You
some
can,
people are getting through.
right, again, I don't think some people got the memo, some didn't, some did, but again, it is done electronically. You can download the form and send it in by snail mail, but send it in certified, return receipt. So at least you have, some type
And
of,
keep a copy.
yes, and keep it, so that you have a copy of your opt-out. The link is up on our website. If you email, I will send you a copy of that link, and then you could put your information in. Any issues, because a few people had issues typing a 0 instead of an O, or an O instead of a 0. Minor hiccups, no big deal. I'll get you through it. It's done.
But the link is actively working to opt out online, so you can still use that, and it is all on our website, which is www.nycretirees.org. We give you your options there on how you can opt out, and as we learn that changes or a function changes, we will update it as quickly as we learn that.
And just to drag it onto that opt-out option, if you opt out, you will not lose your Medicare Part B reimbursement. This has been another issue. Everybody is freaking. That just means you opted out of the MAP plan. Okay, that's it. You will get your Medicare Part B, and we move on. Okay, so don't panic, don't get nervous. That's all the opt-out is. You're not opting out of anything but the MAP, and you stay in your current insurance that you have now.
And then make the announcement about Aetna.
What was it? It was Aetna is their enrollment, I believe, was confirmed right up until it's just open, correct? But you do have to use it once in a lifetime, I believe.
I believe that is correct. We will make a better post on that. Someone did make a post to our page on that. So when we learned that, we figured we would mention it to you. But we will go back and make sure that I'll put that up in announcements in case anyone is interested in it. Enrollment into Aetna's Medicare Advantage plan was going to close April 1st. I believe for right now that would
March 31st was the last date that you can enroll in the Aetna plan. It was to use your once in a lifetime, and then you had to do a health benefits change form. There were a couple of things that had to be done in concession with changing over to Aetna. They were allowing it, and then when OLR ripped up all their information off their page, then it just disappeared. But somebody had posted something on the page. It was verified, but again, I was not, I heard about it earlier today during a conversation. And again, we will put more information about that once we get clarification with that.
So there was a question, I gotta see where, Richard Ramos, you said, do you think the city can change future city employees' health plans with the present retirees keeping what we were promised? Do you think the city can change future city health plans with the present retirees keeping what we were promised? They can do that because future retiree benefits would be something that would be collectively bargained, and that the active members would have to absolutely approve that. Benefits that we have today shouldn't have been touched, and traditionally unions would not have touched them. But there's an issue with the stabilization fund and the welfare funds being funded, and that's because the unions took money out of the joint health stabilization fund, and by doing so left that fund vulnerable, and put us in the position that we're in today. And what would be the easiest thing? Just like when unions were selling out the unborn, those were not yet on the job. Today, they're selling out those that are gone. Why? Because those are the two populations that have no vote, no say. Our goal is to try to, and this will be something that we are working on currently, is trying to make alliances with the actives to let them understand exactly what is going on in the city, and try to educate the unions that there is a better way to do this, and it shouldn't be on the backs of a retired person. These are the people, including the retirees, the disabled, 9/11 responders, first responders, whatever, widows. the widowers. These should be the people that they should be protecting because we earned these benefits. So it's going to be a while before we know, a little while before we get that plan targeted, but we are going to need all of you to help with that because this is going to be a very huge initiative. Are we safe in senior care till our next choice of options, March 2023? Bill, I absolutely hope so. I hope so. But as things change, we will let you know. And, we have our attorneys are just still waiting to see what the city's going to do. We want to make sure that choice is there for you and that our GHI senior care Medigap plans are available.
Okay, Kathleen Gonzi, is Aetna enrollment the only plan open? Okay, Kathleen, we don't know. The problem that arose is as of January 1st, let's roll back, okay? All the plans were closed, okay? And that even went further back for Aetna because it was the mad rush. That Aetna was closing for new enrollees as of January 1st. So everybody had to use it once in a lifetime at the end of October to make sure that they were in the plan by November, December. Then next thing you know, poof, it pops back up in January that says that Aetna is open for the month. Then it disappears and then we're told, oh, it shows up again and it's open January, February, March until the 31st. So, and that was just for Aetna. So we have not been told that those other plans are open. Okay.
And see, and part of the problem too, even with Aetna, is none of this was official. You don't see any of these announcements on OLR's website. It's only if you ask them or through word of mouth. That's not the way an enrollment should operate. This information should be in an official notification from Labor Relations on the Labor Relations website with all the how-tos. This shouldn't be for us to figure this out. So unfortunately, we keep learning this way, and then we can't get through to Labor Relations, so we contact Aetna and they'll go, oh yeah, you can now enroll until whenever, using your once in a lifetime.
So unfortunately, Kathleen, we can't answer about the other plans. We don't know what's going to happen during the annual transfer period. And again, depending on this appeal process, but again, this is all going back even before the new year.
So James Buckner then asks, tell me why we are opting out when everything is on hold again. Well, you're opting out because you want to tell the city we don't want this stinking plan. The more that they see this, the more let me put it this way. 3,000 people opted out on the day the judge's decision came alone. And by that point, you had like 43 or 47,000 people that had opted out prior to that. Then you had another 50,000 approximately opted out by, I think, Monday. So now you had 100,000 people out of approximately 200,000 eligible retirees that opted out. We want to keep that momentum because it would be a deterrent for the Alliance to come back and say, hey, just because you think that this plan is dead, it's not dead. If it was dead, it would be off the website. The 833 hotline wouldn't working. There's something else in the works. I don't trust them. Michelle doesn't trust them. The board doesn't trust them. If it was gone, all of it would be gone, right? Something's in the works. Well, if you were going to opt out. Tell them, I don't want this plan. Don't pretend like, okay, it's dead. I don't have to do anything. Let them know, because if they see 100,000 people, 150,000 people, 200,000 people opt out of this plan, maybe they won't come back. Maybe the Alliance will go, I'm out of here. We just don't know, but it's good to let them know what your feeling is. And I wouldn't, they're taking them, right? Next question.
If I had Aetna Medicare for years, this year I have a 253 deductible for the year. Why do I have this now? Never did before. Well, Renee, I would call Aetna and ask them, yes, we've seen this numerous times. It's new. It got imposed. We don't know why. You're going to have to call Aetna and ask them, unfortunately. Not sure.
That was Renee's. Okay.
Yeah, Renee Rogers. Alrighty.
Wow, we really must have everyone educated. We're not getting a lot of questions. If I add optional benefits now, do I have to check the once in a lifetime option on the change form? I don't think you need to do that because you're not changing technically your plan. I would check it off without checking off that once in a lifetime option and upload it into Leap file and see what happens. You can always email them at healthbenefits@olr.nyc.gov and see what they say. I do not think you have to do that.
All right. Okay, again, we go by with the copays. We understand that, yes. You want to take it, Marianne?
So
I listen, I know you guys ask me and I tell you the same story over and over on the emails. Yes, we know, but go ahead.
Rennie says she called Aetna and they said New York City did the change.
Okay, so there you go.
Terry, yes, 100,000 people opted out. To our knowledge, we actually believe it's higher because they won't answer the reporters' questions when they say how many people opted out to date, and they won't answer. So the numbers got to be high, and they're probably pretty embarrassed by that because they won't confirm it and they won't update it. What's the question I'm supposed to be at? The copay.
$15 copay.
The copay issue is obviously something that's stirring your ire, and it is ours as well. We did mention it in our court case. The judge decided not to address it. We're not done addressing it yet, but again, we have to wait till we're back in court. It was something that the city alleges that they put into place separate and apart from the Medicare Advantage plan, although we've been getting some different stories about that, depending, where we, where you hear the message from. So Jules just came in with the zoomies. But yes, please continue to pay your $15 copays if you are asked to. They will start to ask you for them after you've met your deductibles. This is in the GHI realm, I'm assuming you're asking. GHI Senior Care, and save your receipts for those $15 copays. Way it was explained to us today is that if you go to the doctor and Medicare pays their part and sends GHI Senior Care the bill, depending what the balance is, they can charge you for certain services up to $15 copay. If the copay is less than $15, then you pay that. So if it's left over $8, instead of them paying their 20%, you pay the whatever, $8. So that's how they've explained copays to us. And again, it's after your deductible's been met. But please keep track of what you paid, because if that does come back across the judge's desk like we hope it will, we are hoping to get you reimbursed for those.
Right. So again, we didn't forget, and again, we can't do anything until, we find out what the city is going to do.
Are we still on hold to keep our plan until the outcome of the appeal? Donna DiNatale. Yes, you will still be in your plan. You'll still be in your plan.
Yes.
What is the Medicare and senior care deductibles? I believe it's $253 for Medicare and $50 for GHI.
Yeah.
Thank you, Tina, for answering that. I'll ask a question. How are Michelle's chickens doing? Kevin, that's not for this realm. You should have been on the chat on Monday. Is there any estimated timeline when the copay issue will be addressed? Mark Boat, no.
And no, and again, Richard Ramos, when all this is said and done, perhaps we need a voice such as you can form some kind of union to represent city retirees. Just a thought, you guys would be great. Well, we thank you for that, and that's great, but no, because again, nobody should be bargaining for our benefits. And this is the issue that we have been saying this about the MLC and them bargaining for our benefits to begin with. Okay, and this is what got us in this jam. So if you have retirees sitting down at the table, as a union or some kind of union, then that just opens up a whole silly nilly can of worms. And yeah, I don't think that would be a good idea, but thanks though.
Lisa, you do mention city council testimony where OLR admitted that copays were folded into the MAP plan. That is not my recollection of the testimony. So if you find that, please send that to us or Michelle and ask her to send it to me. That is not my recollection of that testimony, but if I am wrong, please send it to me.
Oh, so this was the other thing. Some of the people who we are doing the opt-outs electronically. If you're going to do an electronic signature at the bottom, it's type your name in on both sections. No, if you have one of those touch screens or touch pads, do not put a squiggly signature in there. No, it's just asking you if it's type your name in there, because I've had a
Right, and typing it twice is what your becomes your signature.
Right. Okay. So that's that. Okay.
Yeah.
So to let you know. All righty. And then the other thing was, if a spouse, child is on Medicare because of disability or of age, and the guarantor or the person who holds is not, we found that if you leave the Medicare number of the retiree blank, it will take. Because that was a question that came up. They're like, well, I'm not on Medicare, and it's asking me for my number. If you leave it blank as a retiree, it will take it. And the spouse, and then, the person that's on Medicare at the top portion of the information gets filled out, then you could submit it.
And there's a question on how long the city has to file that appellate brief. It's 6 months. They have 6 months. It's not 30 days. They have 6 months, and then they can request the court to either take the expedited path or the traditional path. It is a time-consuming process. It is not meant to be quick. And the court would have to approve the expedited path. And if they don't find on the merits that it requires an expedited path, it will take a while. Yeah, Kathy, really the watchdog group should have been the unions. This should never have come to this. I wanted to know about the deductible. Are we paying $253? Yes, Donna Bazares, the Medicare deductible is $253. If you are GHI senior care, that is another $50. I'm sorry. Yeah. Right? 233 plus 50.
Right. Well, that's on the GHI side. You don't see that, right?
We're both tired. How can we get a systemic legislative protection so that they will never present an advantage plan to retirees as far as the equivalence to a Medigap? We need to ensure that 80/20 is for better. So Janet Bach, there are already Medicare Advantage plans that are already in place, and they've been here since 2003. I said this before. You're not going to get rid of a Medicare Advantage plan. They've been around for a very long time. So that's not an option. You will never get rid of them. The judge even said that is not an option because they already exist and people are in them. You have a whole group in Florida that loves them. You have a large population of people in the New York metro area that has them. It's not going away. My FDNY mother-in-law became a widow July 2021 and is currently enrolled in HIP VIP Emblem Health. Can she, before March 31, enroll in senior care? Go ahead.
That should be done during the transfer period.
We're not in a transfer period, and the only way she would possibly be able to do that now is if she used a once in a lifetime, and I don't even know if they would honor that. If you would reach out to us and explain the issues surrounding that would help, so that we understand why you want to make that move. Laura Cummings, my husband has HIP VIP, which is a similar plan to the new MAP. Should he still opt out? I would still say yes. He should opt out, because that shows the intent of his desire to stay in his current plan. So Ellen Reiser, love the videos of retirees. Please do some more with folks from different backgrounds. Ellen, I don't pick them. They come to us. So if you have people that you would like to refer to me, I know a few people have asked us in the last week to do a video. I would love to. So if you have other people that you would like to refer to me, or that are we willing to, ask us for my phone number and put them in touch with me. I will film them all day long.
Okay, Barbara McDermott, I opted out and asked for a reference number. I was told there's no number, just use her name and date. Okay, the reference number, just so people don't get confused. Okay, the reference number is to the call. Okay, that is the discussion between you and those 833 people. Okay, so it's a log number, so that if you have to call back and say, listen, I spoke to whoever, whatever name that they decide to give you for the day, that they can look it up by reference number, and they can find the transcript or whatever they do to find that call number. So that's the reference number. Usually they would send an email out right after they get off the phone with you. And please check your spam, do a search of your email, because when I opted out, I have Gmail at the end of mine, and it was in my promotions folder, because that's what Gmail does. So it was right in there. So again, search mail, it should be there. Eventually they will mail you something. Yeah, you can call back, say name, date. I mean, again, the reference number is just between you and the caller. That's all you're going to get with that reference number. That's it. That's not of the, again,
I would just do it again and ask them for an email confirmation.
Right. But again, they're going to tell them no. So if you want to make sure, go on to our website or email me, and I'll send you the link, and then do it via electronic opt-out.
But the link is online.
Right, the link is online, and
The link,
it'll tell you if you opted out or not, because it'll flash up red, and it'll say you have opted out already. And it won't let you.
It's crazy for them to email you for the link. The link is on our website, www.nycretirees.org. Go to opt out, and the link is there. The printable form is there. Do what she says, go to the webpage, go to the link, click it, try to fill it out. And if it didn't take when the operator took it from you, it'll take it there. If it doesn't take it, like she said, and it says, oh, you can't do this a second time, then you already know it's been filed. Print that screen.
Right, print that screen, take a
picture of it on your phone.
Right, take a picture with your phone, and please don't freak if you can't get it all in one picture, okay? Because I've had that. I can't get it all in the picture. That's okay, take 2 pictures. Okay, so that's your proof that you filled it out.
Donna Pizares, we usually see the $1,600, but I paid more into it, and I've never seen an additional funds that I paid. She's referencing Medicare B reimbursement. If you paid more than what in Medicare premium, then you got back in a Medicare B reimbursement. You must go onto the OLR website, and you need to pull the differential reimbursement form, complete it, and upload it into the OLR LEAP file system. That's why you didn't get the full reimbursement. You always have to do that if you're not getting the full premium back.
Right, and just for those, because there's been a couple of questions, they usually send the differential reimbursement in March, and they send the regular Medicare B reimbursement in April. I've been getting a few of those.
So I'm not seeing any more, and we're at 9:05. So I'm going to say, let's end this chat here so it doesn't get too crazy and long, and we can all start our weekend. This page is going to close now as we end this video. We will post this video on our YouTube channel. It'll probably be done tomorrow, so I can go to sleep tonight. And then we will also put it in an email tomorrow to the retirees that are not on our Facebook page. So with that, thank you, everybody. Again, as usual, we will keep you updated, we promise. And our website, www.nycretirees.org. There's plenty of information up there. We've uploaded some more videos from SCOTUS stories. You could hear some stories. And yes, please, if you are a retiree that would like to, or know someone else that would like to do a video interview with us to show a different, unique situation or a background or whatever, I would love to speak with them. Message us and I will do them, like I said, all week long. I love doing those videos. You get to learn so much about people. And I want to also ask you to keep Carol Scagnelli in your prayers. The day after we filmed Carol's interview, her husband Lou, who's a retired NYPD officer, had a stroke. And he's doing well, but it's just another added stressor for Carol. So Carol, we send you our prayers. We love you and your husband. We want you to know we're thinking about you. So everyone, if you see Carol on the page, just give her a hug. I'm sure she could use one. With that, have a great weekend. Right?
Love you guys. You guys rock. All right. Remember, we're gearing up for this appeal. So any questions, you know, again, I know they're coming in and I do get back to you. Took me a little bit after the hearing. It was a lot of emails. Okay.
But thank
I'm
you for
caught
your
up.
support. Yeah.
Right. I'm caught up. So we're good. All righty.
All right. Have a great night, everyone. Bye.